Have you ever felt like that life threw you a curveball, leaving you with uncertainty and you may left you in a difficult situation? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about a journey of faith that's exploring the incredible peace that comes from trusting God when things get tough. I want you to stick around. You don't want to miss out on discovering the unshakable assurance that we can find when we know that He's in control.
You're teaching me with my imperfections, reaching me when I run the other direction. I'm undone.
Here's a story that might resonate with you. It's about a friend of mine. Her name is Kelly, and she found herself confronting an unanticipated job loss. The bills were piling up and anxiety was creeping in. She felt like she was at the end of her rope. But one evening, when she was feeling overwhelmed, she sat down with her Bible and began to pray that God would help her find direction in her life. And as she turned the pages, she stumbled upon a passage that she had highlighted years ago, and that was Psalms 46, 1 through 3. That says, God is our refuge and our strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, and though the waters roar and foam and the mountains quake, we're still going to trust it. These verses struck a chord with Kelly. And while she was sitting on her sofa that night, she decided at that moment to trust God despite the uncertainties. Those weeks turned into months, and she continued to trust God, but slowly she saw that doors were beginning to open. And Kelly not only found a new job, but she also discovered a renewed sense of peace that went beyond her circumstances. Our lives can be filled with ups and downs, highs and lows and challenges. But, when we're in the middle of those tough times, those moments of adversity and uncertainty, that's when our faith is truly tested. Yet in these moments, trusting God becomes a beacon of hope for us. It's our lighthouse, if you'll say. It offers us peace and it surpasses all understanding. Trusting God when life gets tough isn't about denying the challenges of life. It's about realizing a higher power is at work. Our anchor is found in recognizing that God is in control, even when our circumstances seem out of control. If you consider the story of Joseph, he was thrown into a pit by his brothers and sold into slavery, and then he was accused of rape by Potiphar's wife. Then unjustly, he was in prison. Yet, through it all, he clung to his trust in God. In Genesis 50:20, years later, he told his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Joseph's story mirrors the truth found in Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. What do we see that's in common with Kelly and Joseph? Well, number one, they surrendered control to God. Trusting God requires letting go of our desire to control every aspect of our life. It's recognizing that His plans are greater than ours, even in the middle of uncertainty. Both of them found peace in God's power. And the peace we seek in tough times is discovered in understanding and embracing the power of God. He's not caught off guard by our struggles. He's always present, working on all things together for our good. Both of them found rest in His control. In trusting God, we find rest for our souls. It's a rest that comes from knowing that no matter how chaotic life may seem, God's orchestrating a beautiful symphony in the background that is His perfect will in our lives. As we wrap up today, let's carry that truth with us throughout the week. When faced with challenges, remember that God is our refuge and our strength. Trust Him. Seek His guidance through prayer and His Word. Let the peace that comes from knowing He's in control be your anchor. I want to challenge you to surrender your worries to God intentionally this week. When faced with uncertainty, I want you to pause, pray, and trust God. Reflect on the times that God has proven faithful in your life. I bet there's a lot of them that you can look back on. And let that assurance guide you through the storm you may face. May your week be filled with peace that surpasses all understanding as you trust God in those tough times. Thank you for listening to today's devotional. Remember, no matter how tough it gets, you're not alone. Trust God, find peace, and let His control be your comfort. Have a great week, and I'll see you back next Monday morning on Monday Mornings with Michael.
I need you